Being to order, please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilwoman Schott, would you please lead us in prayer?
Heavenly Father, you've entrusted us to be the stewards of our community. And please guide our hearts and minds as we make decisions. We ask that you bless our community with peace and prosperity. And we pray that we will be ever mindful of the needs of all of our residents and the entire community. We ask that you bless our police department and protect them, the fire department, and all of our employees as they perform their duties. We also ask that you bless the members of our military, past and present. We thank you for giving them the courage to serve. We thank you for the many blessings that you have given us, and we pray that you will keep us ever mindful of them. In Jesus' name, amen.
Everybody's here tonight. The minutes.
Motion for the minutes.
Bennett? Yes. Fair?
Yes.
Hartman? McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
And Schott?
Yes.
Bills.
Second.
Bennett? Yes. Fair?
Yes.
Hartman?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
And Schott?
Yes.
The workers' time report. I think that's in it. Fireman's time.
Second.
Bennett? Fair?
Yes.
Hartman?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
And Schott?
Yes.
When you're ready, Deb, you can do your report, please.
I'm asking to encumber $6,701. $164 goes to the auditor of state, where they charge us to go over the audit that we just paid for through Charles Harris. And we have a $6,537 invoice to ADR for the water project they're working on. We have to pay that in advance, and then we go for reimbursement.
Motion.
Second.
Bennett? Yes. Fair?
Yes.
Hartman?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
And Schott?
Yes.
I'm assuming that each of you received some of the data I was sending you. Last week, I believe I sent an email, copied it for Councilman Bailey. It's called an enhanced coverage added to the members package policy. Did you open it and read it?
That was the one about
It, malicious assailant events. Yes, if anything happens at a public meeting, they now have that covered in our policies free of charge. Yes, there's no increase to the policy, but they are covering those types of events for their customers through the Ohio plan. I gave the mayor folders for the utilities committee regarding phone service. And today I talked to a gentleman from Verizon that wants to quote us to replace our Frontier lines. The committee needs to review it, go over it, and we need to set up a meeting because in my conversations with him, we can save about $300 to $400 a month just in our phone bills on this building only, is what I'm looking for, just this building right now. Also provided was information for credit card policies for the finance department. And as you heard us talk before the meeting, because of theft in credit cards in another community, they're having all communities sign off on the bills. And it mainly has to do approving of the credit cards, what we pay each month on our credit cards. There has to be a person designated to each quarter go to the credit cards, make sure they're where they're supposed to be, make sure they're in balance, make sure they're paid. If you so choose to have me do it, I cannot be a signer on any credit card. The person who checks on them cannot sign to buy merchandise. The windows, cleaning of the windows, Kelly has offered to clean them. Before I told her yes, I wanted to check with you. You want to vote to have her come in to clean? It's around $180, I think, inside and out, isn't it? Do you remember, Bailey?
No, but was that, we was gonna do it before Christmas?
Yeah, that you wanted to do it before Christmas, the
Yes.
holidays.
You wanna vote on that?
I make a motion, we. have-
Second.
She's coming tomorrow, so I'll let her know. Bennett?
Yes.
Fair?
Yes.
Hartman?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yeah.
And Schott?
Yes.
The other two items I have to discuss, they'll probably be brought up between police and fire, so I'm okay. I have no legislation.
Thank you, Deb.
Did we have first reading on resolution 1815? We had first reading. Did we,
I thought you approved it. What was it for? Was it for?
just a minute till I look. The amount of rates for the budget,
Yeah, you passed those.
we passed it.
Yeah, we
Okay.
passed them to,
Yeah, we did that, suspended the rules.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Is there anybody signed in there? Councilman
No,
Purvis?
sir.
Thank you.
Couple of things,
Go ahead, you got it.
Can we go into executive session on personnel?
Motion, second.
Motion?
I second
Who made the motion? Oh. Bennett? Fair?
Yes.
Hartman?
Yes.
McKinney?
it. Yes.
Bailey?
yes.
And Schott?
Yes.
One thing I want to let you know, you need to give description of personnel. Do you have, other than personnel, is it hiring, firing?
Contract?
Appointment or removal of, appointment or removal of employee.
Yeah, I didn't think about it until, yeah, returning from executive session, I've got it 7:25 PM.
No action taken.
All right, let's move on. Fire department, do you have anything tonight, Chief Anderson?
I got a few things. Calls year to date, we run 227 calls. As of this same date last year, we were 226, so we're starting to pass ourselves for the year. I want to let everybody know in advance, November 19th council meeting, there will not be any fire representation here. We have to host the Tusk County Firefighters Association meeting that night. That'll be over at our firehouse. And we'll be pretty well tied up over there taking care of that. If you need anything before December, please get a hold of me or get a hold of Deb. She knows how to get a hold of me. But we won't have anybody here on the 19th meeting. Money for the night, what I'm asking for, I got two different things I'm actually asking for. First one is we had a new member join, Bobby Wells. Some of you may know her. She's gonna need approved for an FBI BCI background check. Bobby had an FBI BCI background check done for 4-H. I talked to Deb a little bit. She said it's almost a year old. So rather than open up, a potential, you know, whatever, we're gonna go ahead and make her get another one. So I'll need, approval for $55 for that. Also, I'm asking tonight for the rest of the money from our EMS Priority One grant. If you remember, our grant was for $6,477. That's a reimbursable grant. We've already spent $1,984 of that. That was for CE Solutions. So what I'm asking for tonight is a total of $4,547.61 for the grant. What we're gonna get with that is we'll get 2 sets of complete vacuum splints for each squad, one per squad, to replace our vacuum splints that are several years old. We're gonna get an AED and a wall mount to go in the fire department, that we rent that hall out all the time. We do not have an AED over there. I think we need to get one in there. And then the last thing that's also gonna buy is our Life Pack 15 did not come with a charging cord. We are actually using a loaner cord right now. That's gonna have to go back to physical control, so that'll get us our charging cord. So for the grant itself, I'm asking for the $45,47.61. That'll actually take us $54 over our reimbursement. That, I mean, that ain't bad. But that will all be reimbursed, but like I said, $54. And then the $55 for Bobby. I didn't add that together. Deb, do you know what that?
460261.
There you go. Thank you.
One thing I got on the fire department, I brought it up to the buddy. Oh,
Now, then it's approved. I'd rather approve it now, so we know, because we're doing payroll for them now. Until Stephanie gets it done, we don't know where payroll's gonna be. I kept $20,000 back. They thought it was around 16,000 last year. so
Yeah, it was like
back
14 or 16 last year was
Yeah.
payroll. We're probably gonna be about the same this year, I mean, guessing, I don't know until Steph gets it all figured out.
I'll make a motion.
Bennett? Yes. Thayer?
Yes.
Hartman?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
And Chuck?
Yes.
I brought up about, the cement up in front of the station.
Yes.
Don't forget, to do something. That's tearing up.
Me and Dan talked about that. The association is looking at different projects for the building as of right now. We have only a certain amount of money, so we're trying to prioritize. I know painting's on the list soon. If you go in our building, it definitely needs painted. The cement's definitely on the list. The asphalt out back's on the list. But as is with anything, I mean, the association only has so much money. We can only do so much at a time.
I had, come up with this new stuff they advertise on television, I just got done getting some of it. It's white or black, and it goes through the cracks, not the big spot where your 2 cements meet.
Mhm.
You got spots about 2 feet, and that's all tore out of there.
Yeah, he had brought it up to me. We're gonna talk about it at our meeting. Should be tomorrow night. but
Or
we're
you
going to
can't do
Brewster
nothing
tomorrow
almost
night.
this year anymore.
Right, and that's the thing, like I said, it's all gonna depend on where we're at with money. I mean, all that over there, we take care of with the association funds, and we do the best we can. I mean, we work bingo every Thursday to try to keep ends meet.
I understand.
You know, we'll get on it, but yeah, we've definitely been talking about it, so.
Good enough.
I got one other thing. I'm gonna let Dale talk for a minute. Dale's gonna go over the contracts for the AEDs and stuff, and there's some changes that we could make to save some money. And then I got one more thing when he's done, but I'm gonna let him go real quick.
Okay. Every year we contract the AEDs and life packs to be serviced. Okay? I've been doing some digging on these. When we contract them, we have 2 CRP pluses and we have 2 LP 1000s. That's what we have on hand. To put them on the service plan, it costs us $360 a year per device on that contract. That's for the CPR plus. The LP 1000 costs us $396 a year. So 396 or 360, plus 2 on both of them. Been doing a lot of digging and a lot of running around because everybody's trying to save money. If we do not contract these, and when they come in and service this unit, to service this unit, it'll cost you $281 a year. That's the CR plus. To service the other unit, it's $155 a year. So we were stepping up paying $396 to put this on contract for something that costs $155 to service if we do not contract.
Do we have to go back the following year and buy the new ones back over if you get them this year? You know,
I'm not-
$300
you lost
some
me.
dollars to,
That's to put it on a service agreement. We put it on a service agreement right now.
and is that for every year?
Yes. Every year we put it on that service agreement, and that's what we've been paid to put it on that service agreement every year.
Or you wanna go,
It's up to you guys. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you what is best. I'm telling you that we set these units here, and these units has been serviced every year, and that's all we've done.
how many have we got right now?
Remember, for it.
Okay,
2 and 2. Remember, part of that service agreement is just like your car. If the transmission goes out, you're gonna pay more when you get it serviced. So, that's what you're paying for. You're paying for that buffer in case something catastrophic happens. That's why the difference. I'm just giving you guys the option because it's time to write a contract. This is all for next year, but they start writing them now.
have you known anybody that's ever had to collect off of the service contract
No,
for that kind of thing?
no. I know
Because
most
I run into
places.
so many crooks right now.
Right.
Offering service contracts.
Right. This is off of Life Pack himself that takes care of our Life Pack 15,
Okay,
that takes care of our Life Pack 12s. We are not taking the contract off of them. I'm just talking these AEDs we got around town, 2 in the police cars and 2. With all the talking, there's a lot of villages, they do not service them, and they just replace them. Just also add this up in your head. If you service it at $396 a year, 5 years, you bought a brand new one for $1,500. An AED is $1,283. There's a lot of cities, they bank that money and just every 5 to 8 years, they replace it. So it's just, like I said, this is coming up because we're writing next year's service agreement. Once we take these off, they're off. You're not gonna put them back on. And once in a blue moon on the Life Pack 1000s, the reason that is, every 3 to 5 years you have to replace that battery, and on top of that 155, it's an additional $200. Okay, that's every 3 to 5 years that battery has to be replaced.
so if you put the money back in 5 years, you just buy the whole unit.
You could buy a brand new unit. It's an option for you guys.
Can we put the money back as we give it to you? To be able to
That's
make
up
sure.
to that young lady.
Well,
I do nothing
I
about moving
understand
money
this.
around there.
We gotta have the money in case in 5 years to pay for this.
I understand. And like I said, these are just, if you wanna go as we're going, we have been putting these on a service contract for the last 10 years, Debbie. 5 years, however long we've had them. You don't have to change a thing, we can keep going along our merry way. I don't think the city's wasting any money, but I do know money's tight. If there's a way we can get around and save some money, if you guys believe this is a way to save money and it's better for the city, that's all I'm giving you, I'm just giving you the numbers. I'm not telling you what's best.
That thing's gonna work up to 5 more years to save somebody's life.
That's the gamble you're,
That's
that's
the
the
gamble
gamble
you're
you're gonna
taking.
take.
That's what I'm asking.
That's
You-
the
you
gamble
But
you're taking.
we'll just say that we got it here, somebody has a heart attack sitting here, and it don't work today, so it don't make any difference.
I
It don't work.
understand, that's exactly what I'm
What's the
saying.
rest of you think?
I mean, that's why I'm not gonna push one way or another.
No, and
I am not.
I'm just bringing it up so everybody understands.
Exactly.
That's the gamble you're taking by dropping the contract.
It
okay?
will
We-
still be
we-
serviced
we-
every year.
We've never had a problem with them, but if you drop the contract.
Right.
And 6 months from now, something goes wrong with that AED, guess what? We're footing the whole bill.
Right.
So,
What does the rest of you think on
I
that?
mean,
It'll still be serviced for that 155 every year, just like it is. It's just you're not gonna pay that 155 by putting it on contract in January. You're gonna have to come up with that money on another session when we have the service guy in.
Okay, back.
Yes,
on-
yes,
okay.
absolutely.
It's 360, times 2, and that's for the AEDs?
The CR pluses,
CR.
AED.
Okay.
The
and-
Life Pack 1000s are what's in the police cars. Them are $396 times 2.
Okay, then what's the service rate? Just to do.
Service rate on the CR pluses,
Okay.
that's the 360 one.
Mhm.
$281 per device
Okay.
every year.
Okay.
LP 1000s, $155 per year. Every 3 to 5 years, you're gonna have to put a battery in, and it's $200 right now for that battery, on top of that 155. So please, do the math, figure out what you wanna do, because, you know, you're only looking at the true savings of the 281 to 360, $120 and a true saving, because we still gotta get these serviced every year. You can't leave these hanging on the wall and never look at them. You can't do it.
Contract, if we sign, what is it providing other than that they're gonna come out in general? Just giving us anything for free?
If anything breaks, no. And you only get a 15% discount on parts on that contract when something breaks.
So if it does go bad, and we're in the contract, we're still gonna pay for it.
You get the free service call, you pay for parts. That pays for labors and that, you pay for the parts, is what it covers. On these AEDs. Your Life Pack 15, Life Pack 12, that's a whole different ballgame, and we're not touching them.
Right.
You've already saved, just this year, by buying that $3,000 con, you guys saved $5,000 this year, because we had a little battery go out, and it was a $5,000 battery, and he was here in 6 hours for me. So them we are not talking about.
How old are the ones, I know I got the grant for the police cars, that's an Austin Bailey grant, so that's been quite a while.
Absolutely, these have been here a while. The Life Pack 1000s are the oldest units. And they're units that they're trying to talk people going into the CR pluses, which is what you have here. And it's what we're buying now, is CR pluses.
Well, and
There are a better
that's the
unit.
other thing, remember, we're about to get another one for our building, that's, if we go on contract, it'll be another $200, $300 a year contract too.
Right.
That's gonna help us, so.
Is there anything that would happen that you would need to have it serviced more than once a year? If they
No.
use them, do they have to be serviced then, or?
Yes.
Yes, if
Yes.
they're used, they have to be serviced.
Yes.
Okay, so in this contract, if we use one 4 times a year, we're still only paying the $360, we're
Right.
not paying that times 4?
Absolutely, you hit it right on the head. That's what
Right.
you're looking at.
So that's
That's
your-
what you gotta worry about
your
if you
safety
drop
net.
these things.
If you use them,
It's just like an insurance policy on your car. You pay on it and pay on it and never use it, but boy, that day you need it, thank God you do. So I'm not sitting here telling you guys what's the best way. I want you as a party to decide what you believe is best for this village. I'm just showing you there could be a little bit of a savings here.
When do you have to sign the contract?
Oh, this is next year's contracts, we're just writing them now. We start writing them in November, and then they get them to us in about 30 days, and then you guys are presented with it, it comes as a 90-day branch,
So
you
this
got
is something
90,
we have
right.
time to
This
think
is
about, so like
out,
a committee could go
absolutely.
over this.
You guys can think about it till next meeting, Debbie can let the chief know after next meeting, guys, toss it around in your head, throw them numbers around. I can even give you all, I'm standing here, I can give you all copies of this, it's all in here.
I want it.
Absolutely, you want me to copy them?
All
what
right,
you're gambling with, basically $642 a year is what you're risking.
And sure you know that if it's the police car, it's gonna see more action than the one sitting here.
Oh,
Because the
absolutely.
police respond to fire calls.
Is that in the trunk of the police car, so that could
Where's
go a little
that
bit
at?
longer? It won't stay up as long?
Where's it at?
There is a battery in the thing, right?
yeah,
Or is it?
it's in the trunks, is it not?
We keep one in one trunk and we keep the other in the duty bag. So every time the officer comes on shift, since we have 2 of them, we have 4
you.
cruisers. So one stays in me and Andrew's car because he is a what is it, first responder now. So we keep one in the back of me and Andrew's car. The other one stays inside the office unless the officers are working. It's in our black duty bag. We pulled all the paperwork out of there and pretty much we made it just a medical / crime scene bag they carry. And so it does not stay in the cruisers. One does, one does not.
I would have to say the one in the front's gonna not last as long with the batteries, because that's cold back there.
Well, like I said, I'm not saying what's the best route. I don't know. I just I'm trying to help you guys. Everybody's trying to save money. You know?
I will tell you, in the 4 years I've been here, we've used them twice.
Yes.
That I'm aware of. It's been used twice, and
Anybody else?
they have lived in the back of cars prior to us taking over Wilmot. They lived in them cars, and we checked those batteries. That shows on that one there even shows right there.
Yep.
Where the battery level's at. That is part of the officer's daily routine to make sure that battery level says okay.
And we're okay on that then.
Yeah, they've sat in the back of the trunks of the cars probably for years before I got here. And a little
3 to
while.
5 years on batteries. We actually just put new batteries in
Did
yours.
you?
Yes.
Okay.
This last service call put new batteries in there.
So.
It's perplexing, I know, because you're rolling the dice too.
I'm sorry, what'd you say the cost of the battery was again,
200 right now.
for both types?
No, just for the bottom one.
Okay.
The other one, the CR pluses, and the reason they're pushing everybody to them, they take regular lithium batteries. Lithium batteries now are what, almost $2 a piece, and it takes like 4 of them. I mean, they're so cheap, it's nominal. It's a special lithium made, you can't buy it on the market, you gotta buy it off of them because it's a special size, but that's what it is. It's super cheap.
The $200 battery, that doesn't fall under
That's
the
that
contract.
LifePak
You still gotta pay that,
1000.
whether you
That's
have
that
the
old
contract.
model.
But if you have the contract,
No,
then
no, if you have the contract, you get
includes
that
the
battery.
Right.
Oh, for free. If you have that
So every
contract, you
3
get
to 5
it.
years, you're gonna pay that money, and you wouldn't have to with the contract too, so.
And like I said, we got the prices here, it's what, $1,243 to replace these. So you gotta look at it that way too, if you wanna just, you know, cause what is it, 4 years out of $300 a year, you bought one. 3 years, actually. Every 3 years, you bought a new one.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Dale.
Chief had a little bit more.
All right, the last thing I got, guys, I'm respectfully requesting, and I've already talked to the mayor, I've talked to Mr. Hartman. On November 27th, that is a Tuesday, at 6:30 PM, I have Allison Wright of Stryker coming down. I'm respectfully requesting that council attend that, please. I would like you guys to see the benefits of these Stryker Power Cots. We're the only community around here that does not have them. We run 2-man crews a lot during the day, and it takes everything we got to load our patient. With these power cots, we could load a patient, and anybody sitting in here could load a patient even my size by themselves.
That's $15,000 a piece, ain't it?
No, keep going.
Keep going.
You're at about $50,000.
I'm sorry, Matt, Brewster got them and sold.
Right,
I
but here's the thing, and this is why I'm asking, the BWC, the Bureau of Workers' Comp, is still offering a grant for 75% of this cost. If we do it now, we could still get this. When I talked to Allison the other day, I thought we had to come up with $25,000 right off the rip. She said, absolutely not. I said, that's what's held us from doing this for years and years now, because the money is, there's just no way. She said that there's villages that are smaller than us with less money that are buying these, because she said the way they're working it out, they're doing payment plans, they're doing all kinds of stuff to make it feasible
we
for
need
a small
two of?
village.
Yeah,
I would
2
like
of
to
them.
get 2. I would like to for sure have 1, but I would like to see
So we're
us.
talking $100,000,
Yes.
Yes.
With a 75% grant, you were talking.
25,000.
About 25,000 out of pocket, if we secure the grant. But this is the reason I'm asking you guys to come, because I can't answer these questions that you have. Allison can. She
Yes.
does this every day. She's very smart at what she does. And like I said, I think if you, what I would like to do is I would like to back her unit in, she'll bring one with her, back her unit in beside one of our units. And let you see the difference of what we use now compared to what they have to offer. And it's phenomenal. I think you guys would understand right away why these departments are going to them and why Beach City needs to seriously entertain the idea of going to them. Like I said, we go out the door a lot on two-man crews in the daytime, and there's times we have to tone from mutual aid just to lift our patients because we don't have the manpower to lift them. With the power cots, that's out of the equation.
The people
It's all
selling them
done.
already know this, Bill, and we've been doing it for years, I know what you're saying.
I
And
understand.
there's people that got sore backs from it.
Well, there's people that have been put out of work, their regular work because of it, you know, so I understand it's a big commitment, I understand it's a lot of money, but that's why I would like you guys to come and listen to what she has to say. That's the only reason I'm bringing her back down is for you guys to see the stuff. We've seen it, we know we want it. Now it's a financial responsibility of whether we can do it or what we can do to do it. And that's why I would like for anybody that's available to attend to please attend this meeting.
27th, you mean you're gonna be over at the fire station then?
Yes, 27th, it's a Tuesday night, it should be the last Tuesday in
How
November.
about getting a piece of paper out to each council member to make sure I don't forget that
At
stuff?
what time?
At 6:30, it'll be at 6:30 PM. I can do that if that would help, or.
refreshments?
We can do
I
that.
can.
Absolutely, we can do that.
What do you want?
Send Chief for donuts.
Let's see, everybody know Franny will be there anyway.
Well, be quiet, I didn't even ask for it.
Chief, what's the lifespan of those, power cots? Do we know?
That I don't know.
If you service
She
that-
could answer?
I'm sure that's something she can answer, I'm sure they'll come, well, just like our manual cots now, we have a contract with them, they come and they service them every year. I'm sure it's gonna be the same thing, batteries will have to be replaced every so many years. That's stuff that unfortunately I can't answer, and that's why I'd like the questions that you guys have for you guys to be there, because then she can answer them questions that I can't answer.
If that thing don't last 10 to 15 years, there's something wrong with it, because they do build good equipment. Did you run into anybody that has already got them that's making payments towards this? Have you run into anybody, what kind of
I
payment?
don't know how Brewster worked their system out. They went with Furno. We're looking at Stryker. Wilmot, I know, has Stryker. I don't know how they've worked their payments out. I do know when I talked to Allison the other day, I actually called her about stuff for our cots, and she started telling me again about the power cots. And when I explained to her the money situation, she said, I can't believe that we haven't talked, because she said the departments down south, she said aren't even as big as what your village is, and she said they're buying them. And she said, we're working out payment plans with them. And she said that she would be more than happy to discuss anything to make this work with you guys. And that, like I said, I set it up for you guys, not for us. We know what it does. It's just a financial, and, yes.
I'm sorry. What grant is this through? Did you say workers' comp?
Yes, this is through the Bureau of Workers' Compensation, and it's a 75% grant, and it'll be a 25% match. And Allison almost assures me if we do it the way she's done it in the past with everybody else, and I know Brewster got it, I know Wilmot's got it, I mean, we're honestly the only community around here that does not have power cots.
And what you have to realize is that sometimes if we have these more bills that we're gonna pay on a regular basis, you have to learn to say no. Another thing.
Costs a lot of money for the police and the fire department. either one. I'm not against buying things, if it works out with the payments right. You'll just have to, until it gets paid for, you're gonna have to learn to cut back some other things.
Well, and like I said, I mean, the option is, I hate to keep building up one squad, not the other. Right now, we're sitting with 115 and 112, so the new squad's got a better life path. Now we go with one power cot, it's obviously gonna go into newer truck. Now you're running into a position where instead of rotating our squads on a call basis, you're gonna have everybody wanting to take the new squad because it's got the better life path.
But
It's
I
got
wasn't
the
even
better
thinking
comp,
about
it's
doing
got
one,
the-
I was thinking about two.
No,
But
That's the way
A
the
lot of
thing
money has to
can.
be there.
Right,
To be able to
absolutely.
do it for a month, yearly thing.
Absolutely. And that's
And
what I
I'm sure
said.
we can do that.
I don't know, maybe she'll stretch these payments out. That's why I know the questions you guys have would be well better answered by her. And that's, like I said, that's why I've asked her to come down. I told her if this day did not work with people, I would reschedule, but but it took me till then to get her here, so I mean, she's definitely busy with what she
Well,
does.
keep in mind, I don't wanna pay interest. Just keep it in mind.
Well,
When
make sure
we're-
you
when we're
tell her
dealing,
that.
okay?
Make sure you tell her that, or remind her
will.
of that. We'll do what we can to get it done.
I buy a lot of stuff that way.
Hopefully we can get it done. But like I said, that's the last Tuesday of the month, it's at 6:30, I can type something up, put it over here if that would help. Cause like I said, I will not be here next
I
council
just
meeting.
need a
We
piece of
gotta do
paper I can
that.
lay over there so I don't miss it.
We'll set it up as like a, well, actually, it would have to be a special
It
meeting.
is a special
Yeah.
meeting.
It would have to be a special meeting.
If you're gonna have any more than 3 there,
Mhm.
so she'll get the word out with the piece of
Has to
paper.
be
Perfect, do you need me, you got the date, you need me to get it to you? I
27th at 6:30 PM.
I was gonna say I can
At
shoot
the
you
fire
an
station.
email if you need me to, or whatever works for you guys.
Yep, and then we'll have the police officers deliver it.
Thank you.
Over fire equipment.
Perfect. That's all I got, thank you guys.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Dale. Chief Guy, do you have anything else for police tonight?
Couple things. So the Halloween parade got canceled. We saved candy from trick or treat to pass out for Halloween parade. We have candy back there still. You guys have an issue with me giving that to the fire department to pass out during their Santa on the fire truck night and just give out candy with their presents too. I said it's you.
Is it
you guys-
Reese's Cups?
I'll bring you a Reese's cup. You stop by the office, get a Reese's cup.
If it's Junior Mints or Reese's Cups.
My officers don't need that.
Well, you can bring Reese's cup in.
You guys, I tell you what, I'll bring you guys a bowl of candy for the meeting, and I'll donate the rest of it.
Not a big bowl, just.
Oh, you're getting a big bowl.
Sure you will.
So I should have probably brought donuts for this next one. But I would like to go ahead and, get the taser. I would like a start, I know, I'm walking in line.
Oh my God, here we go.
So I would like to do $1,000 from the village and take $1,000 out of our, police fund, our donation fund. We have approximately $3,600 sitting in there right now. So I'd like to split the cost fee. That'd be a startup cost that gets taser, the holster, battery, and some cartridges. And just to get it started, I'm not trying to ask for everything right now. I want to at least get it, and then we'll move forward from there.
You're terrible.
I know. Other than that,
Did Wilmot come up with one?
I haven't asked them yet, but they're going to. I'm gonna talk to them about it. I guess they're not going to. I said I'm going to talk. I should say I'm
So
going
it's
to
gonna
talk to
give
them
us
about
2
it.
of them, in other words.
I'm gonna try to get 2 of them. Yes.
What's the price of this thing again?
The price? The one I'm looking at is $1,500.
Is the money there, Debbie, for him?
Yeah, I think we have enough in general. I don't know that I put enough in actual police budget, but I can move it from the general other account up to it.
So if it's 1,500 for it, then you need $750 from the village, right?
And no, we also, that's just for the taser itself. That's not including the cartridges or the holster or the battery, which would be right now to start up would be $2,000. And then once we get everything, probably next year, so I'm not bombarding you guys with a fortune, I'm going to ask for, at least the supervisors to be certified in it, which I don't know the cost of that yet, but it's not much.
I get to shut it off on each one of you. I'd like
Well, can you use it before you're certified in it?
No,
No, the officers that are certified can use it. I've got a couple of my supervisors who are already certified to use it.
Oh, okay, okay, I follow you.
So you want $1,000.
I want 1,000 from you and 1,000 from my account.
Any problem, anybody?
I saw some research on that only works like 50% of the time.
Every time I've used it, it worked perfectly fine for me.
I actually seen that too.
Did
You probably seen it the same
Yeah,
place I
same
did.
place I did,
I-
yeah.
And they were saying that
50% of the
Yeah,
time it.
50% of the time it doesn't,
Well, there has to be a
which-
guarantee
so-
on this
Well,
thing.
and that could be related to drug use or something that.
PCP,
yeah.
So
Well, I don't know if they do
the big thing
PCP
that you're seeing with that is big heavy coats. Sometimes they will not go through it. What I'm looking at is a Taser 7 compared to the Taser 2, which is the newest, more developed Taser
The
out
one
there.
you had here and showed us.
That's the Taser 2. This one's actually one up from that. It's called Taser 7, and it's got the more efficient barbs. It does a closer spread. When you're closer instead of far away, it kinda, it gives a little bit better.
And you can also use it without the parts,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yes.
Like I said, this is, I hope to God, like everything else, we never have to use it. I would much rather pull the taser than a gun.
I would stop either way.
Are we gonna have to buy insurance on this thing too?
I need to contact Whitaker Meyer and see, I think that's part of, I mean, we carry a gun, so I would say it's not gonna cost us anything extra. It's part of our tool, we don't carry insurance on our mace, asp, or any other tool we use. So I'd say it's part of our liability
And to
insurance.
maintain it, or we're gonna have to do anything with the batteries and all that?
Maintaining it, I believe once a year, or once every couple years, I gotta get checked.
Okay.
But it's really not that big of an expense to, they did have a lease program where I could get 2 tasers with like unlimited cartridges. It was like $5,000 for 5 years. But I wanna see how it works. I wanna go with just the basic one first, and then 5 years, end of life, maybe we'll look at that way. But for now, I just wanna get one, see if it's something that we will utilize as in, something that's gonna be worth our money.
Well,
So
don't come back in here and want something else, because I didn't wanna go for it.
I don't think I want anything else the rest of the years, unless an emergency happens, but I don't plan on it.
I mean, they come out with something new every month.
Yeah, we
We
don't
only
want
got 3
anything the rest of the
meetings
year.
left.
I know. Hey, I've actually
Sorry,
tried to
November.
cut money back this year. I'm really trying, guys, I promise. So that's all I've got.
I'll make the motion to go ahead and
A second.
Bennett,
Yes.
Thayer,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Kenny,
Yes.
Bailey.
yes.
And Shaw.
I wasn't sure everybody was even gonna say anything.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
You guys don't have to hear me preaching about tasers anymore.
Well, they come
Appreciate
in
it.
and help me get my roof now. We got.
So, next I would like $50,000 to put on. Karen.
Thank you.
You gotta do is
I'll make the motion.
There you go. I'll second it.
All right, thank you, Chief Guy.
We got a first and a second.
Franny,
Donnie,
don't
do you
get
have
me in
anything
trouble.
for us tonight?
Just the one thing here on this, gas prepaid transaction, this, participating certificate, we have to, Jack has to sign for gas. I sent you to
I thought the same thing.
I contacted Courtney and he said it's okay to go ahead and sign it. And that's all I have is, if you vote for Jack to sign this, that's it, that's all I got.
Oh, yeah, that was very similar to the other one.
Yeah, we have
Did
one
I-
last month.
Yeah,
Last
okay, I
month.
did look at that. Yeah, it was the
Give
same.
it to Jack.
Couple of things I got done on that, that I just got done talking to him about. Bill Glick, which is gonna end up putting Mr. Barr's thing in eventually, whatever they do. He come up and told me that the thing that goes in the ground, that he got a price for $12,000, did you tell me?
Yeah.
He can get one through the company he deals with under the state program for about $5,000 instead of $12,000. The other thing was, he could try to get a price on the hammer, up on the line.
Oh, water hammer thing?
Yes,
I'm already doing that.
but he said he might have, I asked him to talk to him.
I wonder if that's on is that on the ODOT state contract, or is that through just the state of Ohio?
I can't tell you.
I can look at the ODOT contract tomorrow at work and see if they have a contract, for those things.
You
See,
said
workman's compensation is like, he was talking about workman's compensation, but see, them guys are here, so they ain't got no grant for that coming up right now,
Right.
workman's comp.
But if the price is 5 instead of 12,000, that's better than what we get. so
Well,
far.
if it's gonna depend on what it is.
I
mean,
asked Donnie to talk to Bill Glick, because he works around there all the time.
He
said
would be a
there's
guy that would know
there's certain
something.
ones you want and certain ones you don't
I'm
want.
sure there
because
is.
One's heavier than the other. Okay,
All right,
so
well.
Donnie's
so
gonna
we'll-
check too.
You're gonna put some more, and luckily the guy let us have until April now, cause he was pushing for November.
And Don told me that the $1,000 is gonna be on our next bill.
Well, I don't know if it's gonna be on the next bill, I understand we got it straightened out.
It's not gonna be on that bill, it's gonna be done independently.
That's gonna be good.
That's
I like that better.
That, yeah, that's what I asked for, because that way I can see it.
You're darn right, that's good. Because that other bill we get,
Too big.
do you ever look at it? Do you ever see the bill we get from Ample High? You ought to see it.
Me?
You-
I don't think I've ever seen it.
You need to look at a copy of it.
It's horrifying.
It's outrageous.
Oh, Derek, yeah, putting Derek on full-time, he come to me, and he said he's gonna go find another different job. And I wanna keep him, cause he's a good worker, so I'm putting him on 32 hours a week, so he can get his biggest thing was insurance. His biggest thing, cause he was gonna leave, so he could go to the job so he could get insurance.
Let's see,
So,
got the water department.
sewer.
Sewer,
Well, he works every department.
Yeah,
wherever
that's
it's
the one
needed.
I
We need a
was
motion
thinking of.
for this. I make a motion that we put him up to 32 hours.
Okay.
Second,
Bennett? Thank you. Abstain, okay. Fair?
Yes.
Hartman?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
yes.
Shutt?
Yes.
Can I ask why you abstain?
Relations or something.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
That's the dang good
I think
reason.
that's what it was.
That's, I don't have anything else. Oh,
Did we have to
Jack's
approve that for Jack
Yeah.
to sign?
Yeah.
I make a motion, we have Jack sign that.
Can I see what that is?
Yeah, you can see it.
Just what do we call this then?
That form.
Fremont Energy Center certificate for execution? Yeah. Pardon me.
I'm sorry, who made the motion, McKinney? Second? Bennett? Fair?
Yes.
Hartman?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
And Shutt?
Yes.
Okay.
Suit my feet.
You sign that, Jack, and I'll get Cindy to fax that back down to him,
You wanna do it today?
if you wish.
Fifth, right?
Yeah.
Sixth.
Steve, try to get a copy of our last bill. I want you to see this, how bad it is.
Okay.
I'll have to go to the next meeting.
If anybody can figure it out, they're better
That
than we
long,
are.
you read it, you gotta know what I'm saying.
And that's the thing. I did change my first election file yesterday, so.
Oh, did you? Oh, you're in then.
Yeah, right.
That's all you got, Donnie?
Yes, that's all.
Do you have anything tonight, Steve?
Two things real quick. First is with regard to, the parcels that the village is in the process of acquiring. I had a chance to speak with, regional planning this afternoon, just to get a status update on those. They are scheduled to be before the, that board on November 19th at their next meeting. And I asked, if there was anything that appeared out of the ordinary, there any reason why it wouldn't be granted, and was told, no, it'll be put through like, not like it's going to be rubber stamped, but there's nothing glaring in their experience that would say it was not going to be granted, so, that will likely go through. And then I also learned about the demolition assistance program, that after the village acquires the parcels, if you want it, it's totally up to you. You can ask for up to 50% of the total hard cost of demolition to be paid for out of that program. So I got a copy of that application. There's a couple of affidavits that would have to be signed. If you went that route, you have to get a minimum of 3 bids for the demolition costs and submit those. You have to get the photographs like the chief did. Basically, it's the same process as acquiring the parcels. So I just wanted to make you guys aware of that so you can think it through, but it is gonna be a month or two, well, probably at least 2 months before we get it, because they're meeting on the 19th. If that board approves it, it then goes to a foreclosure, but it's not a judicial foreclosure, like you think of going through the court, it goes through the Stark County Board of Revision. So it'll avoid the long, drawn-out process of judicial foreclosure, and goes through a more streamlined, quicker process at the Board of Revision. The owner would have a chance to come forward and maybe assert assert their interest and remedy the delinquent taxes on it, which might pull it back. It's probably not likely given the value of the property versus delinquent taxes, but it is another step that it goes through after that. But everything's in process, and there's also that demolition assistance if the village were interested in it, to help get rid of that mobile home park or whatever. And the second thing that I had a note to create, an indemnification agreement for the CIC, and I did a draft of that. I have 6 copies here if anybody wants to take a look at them. I can email it to you as well. Yeah, I will. So when you look at it, my goal was to make it.
Could I answer?
Sure.
We checked with CIC, talked with Vicki, and we come to the conclusion that we would probably be better off just to go on our own while people survive.
For the village to create its own 501c?
It would be separate.
Oh, just the committee for that?
Yeah.
Okay, if that takes place, then they're still gonna use the village property, right?
The park.
Yeah, okay, so you're still gonna have a private entity using the village's property. So I think the analysis would be the same, you'd still want that indemnification and hold harmless. And if you look at those I drafted on, they're very general, and they're intentionally general, so you could use it for anything. Like any time that you have, if say the chief is taking somebody on a ride-along, I think he already has indemnification, or whatever it is, they could just sign off on that and you get indemnification and hold harmless, or if you have
Okay.
anything that you do where you're involving the public property, you can use it.
I have a question. Being that the CIC was set up specifically to do certain things for the village, do they have the right to turn us down as far as using their 501c?
They would have an independent board. And so the question would be, does their independent board, if it's a functioning board, have the right to make a decision about what aspects they benefit and what they don't? The answer would be yes. So could they exercise discretion in saying, we're not gonna help you with this, we're gonna help you with that instead? I would say yes, they can. Could they ignore the village altogether when their stated purpose was to benefit the village and say, throw a fundraiser for Brewster? The answer to that would be no, they can't. They would have to do something in the best interest of the village. They would likely have discretion in what that is. But it also gives, I mean, it gives the impression that they're not doing something to benefit it, it becomes like an adversarial stance.
Well, that's what it appears to be. I mean, they knew what this was headed to. And now all of a sudden, you know, to buck up and say, you know, well, we don't really want to have a part of that.
Is that what they said?
Basically, they said they weren't gonna let them use it. And my contention is maybe the next time you come here and want something from the council, I'll just have to say no.
Are they doing other things instead?
Are they?
Yes. Yeah, they have that cave run, they work off of there. That's as part of the CIC, isn't
The village in the park. No.
Christmas.
Christmas in the park, Christmas in the village.
So are they saying that we can't use their thing, or are they saying that they're against us having this festival?
She just said that, they would, rather that we got our own.
And that may just be their preference, so that so that there's not any gray area with the money. You would always know that the money would be, CIC money's gonna be in one account
Yeah.
and the
they
festival.
understood
So,
that.
I mean, I can understand that to some point.
Well, I noticed they
Well,
want to
because
take-
now you're gonna have to take, if we have to set up another committee, that committee, to get to whatever you want done, is gonna have to transfer that money now to the CIC for them to do it.
No,
Mm-mm.
we never run 501.
What do we need them for?
I noticed they want to take half, some of this $8,000.
Yeah.
Put it into a special account.
Yeah, stuff like that. I mean, I've seen that before with 501c3s that are created to benefit a public entity, and it goes that way for years and years and years, and then there's new people, you know, people come in, people go out, new people come in, and they don't see it the same way. You know, and I've fought for a case for a long time over a 501c3 in Stark County that at one point decided that the assets shouldn't go to, in this case, the township, and should instead go to a scholarship fund. It was really.
Well, normally, if they did away with CIC, that money normally would come back into the city some way or other.
I think that's the only way it could be used to benefit the village of Beach City, and that's the stated purpose of the 501c3. And I think the law on nonprofits is also pretty clear in that.
Yeah, but for the committee itself to have their own file for a 501c3, first you gotta file for, you have to have charter,
Right.
you have to have what you're all about and everything, all written out. So you have to do that too.
Well, when the CIC was set up, this was to be a blanket for the entire village, and everything would fall under that.
I understand that, but what I
But
was.
now, all of a sudden, now they wanna think that they're some kind of separate entity.
But, yeah, that's, I can see that point, but what I was just saying to her, that this is her baby, so to speak. She would have to come up with bylaws and everything else for the committee to file for a 501c3.
Do we have any kind of account in your department?
A fund specified for the park?
I do.
So how,
It goes into the general funds. It's not kept separate, it goes into the general funds. It has its own accounting code in the general funds.
we skirt in under that?
I don't believe
No,
so.
because that is
Public
village
money.
money.
Yeah, that's
public
actual
money.
outlays from the
Yeah.
village.
And this is just because
Charitable work.
the fact that we were on council, there's a monkey wrench in the whole thing, because council is not part of council. We just happen to be two council people who run this committee.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with council. And that's what throws the monkey wrench in. We are, the committee's a separate entity from council.
I guess my question is, if the CIC was set up before I came on board, so, but what I'm hearing is the CIC was set up to benefit the village and basically can have control of the park. Is
They
that-
have
is
no
that
control
a-
of the park.
No, they have no
No.
control of the park.
The CIC was set up as a community improvement committee.
Mm-hmm.
For all assets of the village,
Yeah.
to help us, but they've taken the park under their wing and want to help offset the cost of the park, because it became very expensive once we purchased the property.
Okay, okay, now I'm following you. So this being a community thing, I'm wondering why this didn't just fall under the CIC to begin with.
Because apparently, how to say this politely, is I can see running it through their accounts, but they probably don't want to invest time in it. This is going to take a lot of time. And you gotta remember, they're just coming off of their 5K, and other than handling the money part of it, they may not wanna participate in this as a group. So far, I'm assuming they decided that they don't wanna do it as a group, they don't wanna handle the funds either. And just because they're the 501(c), we can't force them to handle this extra money. They're their own little group.
Okay, so you're gonna do what you need to do to obtain a 501(c).
You got any idea?
You can create a 501c3. It's a matter of filing with the Ohio Secretary of State. For state, I mean, 501c3 is IRS. And then you will have to file tax returns that would show the income, where the money's coming in, expenditures to maintain the status, and then other statements that have to be filed every so many years. I mean, I'm looking at the Beach City CIC. I don't know what the times are, the intervals, but for example, they were created in June 2008. They were canceled in August 2013 because they failed to file a necessary statement. They were reinstated in November, and they renewed July 2018. So it's probably every 5 years.
Is Danny Floyd still doing their taxes?
I'm sorry?
Danny Floyd?
I
He
tried
used
to
to do their
Say
taxes.
something in the
It said they would
paper.
have to talk to him right now, so I'm
Had
guessing.
tucked in.
Yeah, he's always done the taxes.
Yeah, I did a search to try, there's websites where you can get the tax returns, but I couldn't find any, yeah. Not saying that they don't exist, it's just the
If
search.
you
that I
do the
did.
501, where are you gonna get the fund money to be able to get this, keep on going? Is the CIC gonna give you money out of their fund?
Well, the CIC has nothing to do with this.
This would be a standalone.
So you're gonna start out with nothing then? You gotta find somebody with some money, don't you?
Taylor.
Don't look at me. No, I'm just asking questions, I don't know.
That's where you start by going out and trying to find sponsors
Okay,
to, it's just
You
like playing
can't-
in a
you-
golf
You
outing.
have to
You go
have
out.
the, see, you have to have the 501(c) set up before you
Before.
can bring money in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have, it all has to be tracked so that the state auditors can come in and,
so it's
Well,
not,
that's-
it wouldn't be easier to go with the CIC to do this.
Well, yeah, the whole
Yes,
thing
it
would have been,
would.
that's why it was set up, but now they don't wanna do it.
And it has to
Wanna
be
do
set up
this one
apart
thing.
from the village.
Just this one.
right, you can't,
Yeah, you
it
don't
has
want
to
the
be a
village
separate-
creating
no.
its own 501c3,
No.
that's gonna create its own problem. So it's basically as though 2 or 3 members of council say to themselves, we wanna create a corporation, a nonprofit corporation, and then you go and do it. But if you could, I think you get into trouble, that you probably know about audit, if there's, the village is creating its own nonprofit, and then
Yeah, and this,
it's not gonna go.
I'm not going there.
so, cause I looked at setting it up.
Who's baking cookies in a rolling jail?
So, it's not, cause I set up a 501(c),
C3.
whatever,
Yeah.
years ago. I set up a QWERTY years ago, and, but it was way different back then, it was so much easier, cause I went in and started setting one up, and I was like, oh my gosh, maybe we should have Steven how it works.
Yeah, you can set it up pretty easy.
But we gotta have, there's gotta be officers, there has to
Yep.
be, and right now there's 3 people.
And the problem you could run into is just like with a for-profit corporation is you'll have bylaws, you'll have articles of incorporation. And then if at any point you're not abiding by the bylaws, or you're doing things that, like if you commingle money, like if I have an LLC or a corporation and I've got, I'm just using it to buy groceries. Then if you have liability come up and somebody sues you and gets a judgment, they can piercing the corporate veil where they can say, you didn't respect the corporate structure, and now we're going after you, and that's why the village itself can't create it, because when they pierce that, it would be piercing it to the village, which is not going to go well.
Nor could any of us hold the position in their, the setup or the structure of it.
Probably, it'd be a conflict of interest.
You have to be, you have to be insured. I had to push
Yeah.
them to get insured, they didn't want to be insured, and, no, you have to be insured too.
You gotta go through all that just to set up a festival?
Yes, you do.
Jeez, oh.
Well, you may wanna think about this.
Yeah, it's not
Is there
easy.
any way we could get CIC to,
Can't force them to do it.
I mean.
Can we abolish it?
No.
No, no.
Do they meet? I mean, it would seem like it's in
Yeah, they're-
everybody's.
Like once a month.
Well, they talked
We
about it
went
here
to
at
their
the
meeting.
October
Yeah,
ninth.
we went to their meeting
Well,
with
what's their secret is that they don't want help you? Is there some reason I'm not seeing here?
them.
There's the road.
I don't
I
think they
said I
understand why they
said
were
I
set
did.
up. Now, Bev understood,
That's
but I don't think this group is set up now. I don't think they have any clue as to
Well-
what their reason for being is.
Well, you gotta remember too, that they have taken on the idea even since Bev's passed, that they just do some projects when they want to do them. We have not had anybody come in and report to the council like they're supposed to.
For over a year.
gee, we're gonna put new cameras in the park, do you approve this? You people vote yes or no. They just take the money and do what they want with it, but they are spending it for the benefit of the village. They
But
should.
they haven't come in to ask.
They should always come in and ask before they invest. That is why they're there, and they have not done this. So they're, like Jean said, they've lost a lot of information of the passing of Bev to how it should be run hand in hand with the council and the village.
Mayor, could you, ask the officer of the CIC to come into one of our meetings?
Sure.
With Steve here, so we can either straighten them out some way or other, and hopefully it will work for Hazel and them to go ahead and do it.
Who do you want to be here in what meeting? The next meeting?
No, it should be all their officers.
We don't wanna cause a conflict with that. You understand what we're saying? We're not trying to cause a conflict.
And I understand, but for you to do this thing without them, it's a lot of work.
Why did they say they didn't wanna do it?
Well, I think it was the legal part of it, being responsible.
And for the money.
Injury
Oh.
or whatever.
The question now we have for them, are they still insured? Did they keep their insurance up? If they left their 501c3 expire, or whatever it was,
Yeah, and I would say I misspoke. I was just looking at the headings on the Secretary of State. The renewal that was filed in July of this year was not a renewal, it was notice of a need to renew. With their charter expiring on November 1st, 2018.
So they may not even be a 501.
so you better find out what they are, because they are holding village money. It's public money that they've obtained through donations and events for this village.
Well, if that thing expired, they can't even spend no
Well,
that
you
money.
don't know, that they were
That's
expired,
right.
they didn't take action.
Mayor, could you ask them, whoever we want in here, to get them in here, their officers? What do we got? 2 officers, 3 of them?
No, we've got a
CIC?
president, a vice president, a treasurer, a secretary.
Yeah, and I don't wanna create too much alarm with that, it's not uncommon.
Yeah,
But what they do is they can take actions, and then those actions that were invalid because the charter was canceled, they just ratify it. Here's our renewal document that we forgot to submit, now we're renewed, now we ratify.
There's nothing on none of the minutes that they did that, because I've read the whole thing. The last minutes, whatever it was. I think we could ask them to come in.
So Vicky Samsel is the president.
Tammy,
And
She's a
Ruth is
treasurer. I don't know who the vice president is.
Carolyn Gill's the secretary.
So
I mean,
you
I don't want,
Vicky
I
and
don't want no
Tammy?
conflict.
That's
I
what
just
we
wanna
don't
let them
Yeah,
understand.
we don't wanna.
We're
start
just
that.
trying to work and do
It
a
needs
nice
to be
project.
VA.
yeah, just, well, and you have to stop and think too. Look at the questions on that piece of equipment that disappeared.
Yeah, we didn't know anything about it.
We
Yeah.
knew nothing, and what little I found out came from Mrs. Matheny, because her husband was the one that had it worked on, who paid his own personal money to fix it.
Is it back up there in the park?
It's supposed to be back up in that sand spot.
In that sand zone?
Is it there?
is.
Is
I
it
don't
there?
know.
Is it there?
But all this action took place, and you people never knew.
You didn't know.
No, I had to drop in the hole first.
So you want me to get a hold of Vicky and Tammy and ask
He was in the
them
park
to
after hours,
come to
I
the
wasn't
next
supposed to be
meeting?
there.
Trespassing.
That, the ordinance doesn't say that, it says no one will be in the
I don't
park.
care, I was checking things.
If it was before 10 o'clock.
Oh, how do you know?
I have their cell phone, so I have to take care of the phone.
Should have arrested him.
Okay, Kit, if you could just send it to my email.
You want Vicky's phone number?
Yeah. Tammy, I can call the store.
Let me tell you, if there was a question in the cemetery, and I wanted.
I'll check first with Cynthia then.
I could go to someplace. Oh, I don't care, I could call them, I would be there with me.
I'm involved with so many of these
Well, he's
people.
just trying to do all kind of opposites.
See, that's why I won't do it. It was a conflict of me being on the CIC, and they wanted me to run, Terry wanted me to run it, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, no.
Well, because I'm like in National Day Parade, Carol Gill, Judy, I'm on different things with different people, so I'm like involved in all this.
All right, oh,
So
Steve,
anyhow.
we started
we're
this,
on
oh,
hold for a little bit.
So I'll try to get those two ladies at the next council meeting, okay? Did you have anything else, Steve?
No, that's all, thank you.
The one thing I wanna do is, Deb has prepared some stuff here for, our committees. Some things that we need to look at in different committees. We have, building and utilities stuff here, we have, insurance, and we have finance. Do we, I think we should probably set up a committee meeting, at least one for December. How soon was some of these?
Your credit card, problem?
About the utilities, is that the one you want taken care of?
That's the phones, ain't it?
That's the phone,
That
that
the
would
phones
go
have
under
to be
building and
done
utilities.
by November. The phones have to be done, Verizon's offering a special now.
Okay.
Right.
By November, by this month.
By the end of November, they're offering $25 per line for all items on it. $85 for the phones, to replace the phones, if you go with a cheaper model, it doesn't do as much. And $125 for the ones that do more technical stuff. But then they're giving back $85 credit by the phones. So the phones, if we wanted 10 phones at $85, it cost us nothing because they're giving us the credit back. It must be a cutthroat situation out there on these phone companies because at $25 per line, and I imagine it's probably the taxes and stuff on top of it, that covers the line, all long distance free, it covers call forwarding, what's the thing that I don't have, Cindy does?
Text.
No, caller ID, all the things that these other companies that charge for landlines. So the utilities company needs to set a date to bring the gentleman that's selling this service and this product and go over it. And we go through the month of November.
So that needs to be done before.
That needs to be done.
Yes,
Can I do that for my fax line at the police department? Is it
I'm
something you
working
wanna
on
do
that.
later?
Right now, you're on my bill here, and I don't know if they just take it within the village or how we wanna do it.
Mayor, could you set up the meeting, so John, myself, and who else is on that? And
John, Jean, and, Franny.
So we can take.
This is the folder.
Which I like to see Debbie here at the same time.
you're gonna need to talk to the gentleman.
And
Right.
get the gentleman here. Somebody
So-
has to call him and make an appointment.
Well, that would be Mr.
That'd
John.
be Mr. Hartman.
He lives in Dalton, so he's not far away. And I'll get you his name, John. I'll send
Do
it
we
to you.
have to
Get a hold of,
publicize at the committee meeting?
Huh?
Do you have to publicize a committee meeting?
No.
No, it's only 3 people.
We can't get a quorum to vote.
okay, so I can.
So we need to have that,
I can do it anytime next
Real
week
quick.
or the week after.
yeah.
Okay.
I'll talk to him and see what day, and I'll get a hold of Gene.
I think his info's in there, John.
His name is Roy, who called me today.
You wanna?
Oh, there was a
You
Neil
wanna
in there.
do it in the evening, John, is that what you're saying? Okay,
No.
Okay.
let us know
I'll
ahead.
call him and see what he says.
Let me know when that,
Yeah.
meeting is. I'd like to attend as well.
All right, I'll call him tomorrow, we'll set it.
The credit card, finance problem, okay, where we're signing the bills, we have to have a credit card policy on board.
You don't know already?
No, because every time I brought it up, no one wanted to look at it, no one to deal with it.
McKinney's Shot and Fair.
So you have to write a credit card policy. I may have one that you can look at. I brought this up months ago and you people weren't interested in doing any policies with me.
If you could find that.
And the policy
let me look
needs to
at
be
it.
in the hand.
Who's chairman on that?
You.
I'll look at it and I'll write one up and bring it.
Yeah, I put some in there, some stuff in there.
And we have to have this done by.
Well, I started it 2009. What does that tell you? And then if we don't have it in, we will be audited and we will be slapped for it.
All right.
This goes to Mr. McKinney.
Kenny Shot and Fair.
So that's something that needs ASAP, as well as this. What about this,
When you.
Aflac Allstate? When does that
I
need to
haven't
go
set the
down?
appointment with Aflac yet, but Allstate wants to come in too.
Okay,
And,
She's got a very mean.
Now, we want them to come to the committee meeting, or do you and I meet with them, or you and Donnie, or me and
Or the
Donnie?
whole
or-
conference?
Actually, they wanna meet with the employees, if the employees are interested. We've got an employee out right now, but someone from the
You
insurance
just said
center
it
should be
didn't
here
come
during
out.
Okay,
when they come in.
All right, why don't we?
okay, so you're gonna set that date out?
Well, I'm not setting it up.
Oh, okay, I thought you said you were setting it up. Okay,
No, but you have to work with Donnie because we have to make sure all the employees are here
Okay.
What time you
and
get off
that
work?
they're gonna have
I can
maybe
be
a
here
free
anytime.
20 minutes, half an hour.
Well, you are working.
is the guy, and then,
Because I don't
and then
work
we have to get a hold of the guy to have him come.
How about
Yeah.
6
Okay.
o'clock?
So, yeah, we
Says
have
info on
to
here,
talk to
says-
Donnie.
or that
That's for
woman maybe?
Allstate. She
Who's
swears
the-
her,
I'm
they
glad
have
you're
similar
retired.
Yeah,
products.
flat.
They have similar, I have after.
I have been for 10 years,
Okay.
almost.
So when we come up with a date, then we'll get with you to get the number and the name, and then
See if we get
one
somebody
of us
in
will
here,
call
yes.
and, okay.
It's not a drawer, it doesn't say
Well,
drawer.
see, I just bought one of them, so I need somebody to teach me how to use it.
That'll be the
And
12th.
a certain ex-mayor, I was texting yesterday, and she said.
So when you get all your employees
that
back to
thing
work,
does voicemail
and you
things.
see an area where, a time when
Get this.
we,
They're not interested in it, just,
And she says, how many
you don't have
councilmen
to,
does it
right?
take?
You don't want any interested in it.
Well, like for,
That's what I told you one time.
Josh, he wanted to ask questions about it, so I don't know if he's gonna be interested or not.
So I mean, I see Josh says, yeah, I want it,
Tell you about
Eddie
it.
says no, Shannon says maybe, Lonnie will say yes, but the other two guys say no. The guys that
Right,
say
6 o'clock
no,
in the
they
meeting.
don't have to come, right?
Then
Well,
don't you come, if you
yeah.
don't have, like,
If
3
they're
or 4
not
people sign
interested
up,
in it.
you can't do it anyhow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or else-
oh, everyone has to be on board with it?
No, no, you have to have, Aflac, you have to have a minimum of 3 people, want to purchase policies.
Okay, I'll set it up.
Okay, let me know what date so that then I can get with Deb
Josh will be back in a week, so at least.
and then I'll call the
Well,
Aflac guy.
then Lonnie's gonna be gone for, Lonnie's gonna be gone for 3
Well,
months
they'll
then.
give me instructions on it.
Okay. I'll hold on to this.
But I'll take care of it.
Okay, thank you, Don.
Oh, and the handbook, I don't know who you have in the handbook policy, but we have to do a.
All of us.
A,
We're all done.
what are we doing on that? Public records. Another thing that has to be in our handbook that has not, you have to have a public records policy actually written, and I think I have that on my desk too, that got brushed aside. We did public records years ago, and
Is this what we did years ago?
I've got a file. That's what Mr. Van wrote, and that's illegal.
That's what who wrote?
Mr. Van, when he did the handbook, and I tried telling him it was illegal, but it didn't work that way. That is illegal, you cannot demand that stuff.
But that's what we need is something for the handbook.
Yeah, you have to change the handbook, and you have to do a policy that goes with the handbook.
Is this in the handbook now?
The actual policy?
The illegal one?
Yeah, that's our handbook. You cannot ask who they are and what they want the
Debbie,
records
can
for.
we do the handbook thing like at 6 o'clock on the night the regular meeting is?
You people decide.
Well, I'm just asking. That way you wanna get everybody here for the handbook, right?
Ideally, yeah, that's how we have it written down.
Well, keep in mind, somewhere down the line, try to do an hour before the regular meeting, if you can
I
do
think
it.
that'd be a good idea.
Okay.
Is that enough time?
An hour?
All
We
of
will.
us,
Yeah, but isn't
or
there?
all of you,
You haven't said your own, I guess.
there is no chairperson. But you're head of council.
Don't roll your eyes. This is kind of stuff you guys put on me. Don't roll those eyes.
You want.
That don't work. That does not work.
I'm gonna.
No, no, no.
If I bump it, sorry.
I'm
I
sure
just don't wanna
glad
bump
she's
it.
giving somebody a heck of.
Oh, I'm stronger.
All right.
Oh, by the way, I printed,
I'm 69
this
and a half
came
years
from,
old. I'm fragile.
the US Department of Energy. If somebody comes in wanting to know about smart meters and all these myths about how they kill you and everything, I did some research on it and printed this off. I'll leave it here. You can make copies for them. I figured I'd have it in case somebody came tonight. Just in case, I know we don't have smart meters, but they do
Not according to
emit,
some of the people in
they
this building.
do emit a radio frequency. And you would have to be exposed to that radio frequency for 375 years to get the same dose as talking 15 minutes on a cell phone per day. So, yeah, this is all the myths and the truth. If anybody wants to see it, I'll lay it there. That's from the, like I said, that's from the U.S. Department of Energy. So I know you always can't believe everything you read on the internet, but
I just hope, well, if you do it.
I did off of their website, off the government website.
Then you gotta put it up for contract.
Has anybody got anything else we need to discuss tonight?
Just keep in mind, John,
Nobody? All right. Oh, Franny, you wanted to bring up something tonight.
Lawrence Boats, which was the head of our Board of Public Affairs, his son just died down in Florida. I just wanted, the word hasn't come out in the paper, nothing, and my friend in Nashville got the word last night. But we don't have to send nothing because they ain't doing nothing without.
Bill's related to them, isn't he?
Huh?
Bill's related to them, isn't he? That's your
Yes,
friend in
yes,
Nashville?
yes. You know, he started calling me about 6 months ago. Marlene's got in on it, Bill's got in on it, but, his son, somebody just called and told him he died.
Oh,
He was at his cabin, he's from Florida, he was at his cabin in North Carolina when he died, somewhere around.
What did you think about Boston? It's not bad. All right. If nobody has anything else, meeting is adjourned.